If you only recently started practicing real estate law in Ontario, you might not be totally familiar with the Law Society of Ontario's Form 9C, otherwise known as the Electronic Trust Transfer Requisition for Closing Funds. This form follows the same basic structure as a Form 9A, but it is governed by Section 13 of Bylaw 9, and it applies to closing funds. Subsection 1 of Section 13 defines closing funds as the money necessary to complete or close a transaction in real estate. For even greater certainty, the bylaw defines the phrase transaction in real estate to mean one of two things. The first is a charge on land given for the purpose of securing the payment of a debt or the performance of an obligation, including a charge under the Land Titles Act and a mortgage, but excluding a rent charge. The second is a conveyance of freehold or leasehold land, including a deed and a transfer under the Land Titles Act, but excluding a lease. Now that you know the bylaw definitions of the phrases closing funds and transaction in real estate, in the rest of this video, we'll walk you through the process of generating a Form 9C on TrustReq. All right, let's begin. Starting from your TrustReq dashboard, click Fill Out New Form on the left-hand sidebar. You will now see an area appear where you can choose what type of form you intend to fill out. On the center of the page, click the drop-down menu and then click Form 9C. You will now see a button that says Start Filling Out Form 9C. Click that button. You'll be taken to a page where TrustReq will ask you a few quick questions to help you generate your form. First, indicate the relevant matter. TrustReq will assume that the relevant matter's client or clients are also the relevant client or clients for the purposes of this Form 9C. If you haven't yet created the relevant matter, you'll need to create one first. On the following page, you'll see the client or clients who are listed within the matter you indicated. After you've reviewed the client or clients, simply click the Confirm button in the bottom right-hand corner. Next, it's time to provide a brief description of the matter. Typically, this would indicate the name of the purchaser, the seller, and the address of the subject property. Click Next to continue. On the following page, assign a requisition number to the form. This requisition number can be pursuant to your own filing system, but TrustReq will also automatically generate its own ID number for this document when you're finished generating the form. Click Next to continue. Now enter the amount of money that will be transferred, and then click Next to continue. Now it's time to describe the reason for the payment. For example, you might indicate something like, balance due on closing payable to solicitor for vendor. When you're ready, click Next to continue. At the next stage, TrustReq will ask you from which trust account the money is being withdrawn. If the trust account that is to be debited has already been created, click the button that says Use this account in the relevant row. If you make a mistake, you can click Remove, and then you can choose a different account. Alternatively, clicking another trust account from another row will automatically remove your previous selection and substitute it for the account you just clicked. If you haven't yet created the relevant trust account, you'll need to create one. To create a trust account, click the words Create a Trust Account. Fill in the fields, then press Submit. If you're unsure which numbers are the institution number, transit number, and account number, simply click View Sample Check in the top right-hand corner of the pop-up. When you're ready, you can move on to the next step, which is to indicate the bank account that will be credited. This is the account to which the money will be sent. The same instructions provided in the previous step also applies to this step. When you're ready, you can proceed to the following step, where you will see a preview of your Form 9C. You can also view a sample Form 9C from the LSO's website by clicking on the link in the corner of the preview. At the bottom of the preview, you'll notice that there is a section about required signatures. Just like in the case of the Form 9A and 9B, TrustReq will ensure that you have an opportunity to provide the proper signatures. If you notice anything in the preview that needs to be changed, then remember not to press your browser's back button, since this will terminate your form before it is completed and you'll need to start again from the beginning. Instead, look for the back button located in the bottom left-hand corner of the preview. After you're satisfied with the contents of the preview, click Next to move on to the signature stage. Just like when filling out a Form 9A or Form 9B, TrustReq will determine what you can do at this stage based upon your account's permission settings. If you are the primary account owner or the primary account owner has given you permission to sign a Form 9C, then you'll be able to sign this document yourself. Otherwise, you'll need to submit this form to another team member for approval. In any event, the authorizing signature must come from a licensee, or, in exceptional circumstances, a person who is not a licensee can sign it if they have been given signing authority on the trust account and are bonded for at least the maximum balance that was on deposit during the previous fiscal year for all trust accounts where they have signing authority. After you complete the final step, this Form 9C will appear in your primary dashboard along with your other Form 9 records. However, it's important to remember that there are additional tasks that must be performed in order to be compliant with Bylaw 9. Let's talk about those additional steps now. In the sample Form 9C from the LSO, you might have noticed another signature field in addition to the person requisitioning the electronic trust transfer. A second signature is required from the person actually carrying out the electronic trust transfer. By clicking on the View Details button for the relevant Form 9C on your primary dashboard, you'll be taken to another page where you can complete this other Bylaw 9 obligation. Signatures can be drawn and stored electronically and easily produced for auditing purposes. You are also welcome to print a physical copy of your completed Form 9C if you wish. Aside from the requirement to provide the necessary signature, you must also upload a banking confirmation. This can be done from the Form's Details page, or alternatively, you can upload a confirmation directly onto the Form 9 records table without leaving your primary dashboard. The last topic we'd like to address in this video is the issue of paper records versus electronic records. We realize that Bylaw 9 says to print certain records discussed in this video. However, if you review the LSO's Frequently Asked Questions page on their website, you will see a question that says, "I would like to retain the financial records for my trust and general account in electronic format only, instead of printing paper records." Does this meet the books and record-keeping requirements of Bylaw 9? The LSO's answer to this question is as follows. Yes, you can maintain your financial records by manual, mechanical, or electronic means, so long as you can produce your records promptly when requested to do so by the Law Society. The Law Society recommends printing monthly reports and retaining paper copies for the required retention periods to avoid issues of data inaccessibility due to computer failure, incompatible hardware and software upgrades, or data corruption. You should also implement proper security, backup, and purging procedures for your system. With that being said, we hope you've enjoyed this tutorial about creating a Form 9C using TrustReq. Thanks for watching.